Good morning, Agents of Nothing, and welcome to our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. We're your commanding officers. I'm Mariah.
And I'm Caroline.
And today we're going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 10, Past Life.
Yeah. So, Mariah, how was your week?
It was good. Mostly work, but I took Friday off, and it was so nice to get, like, a day to recharge.
That's awesome. It's so good. It's so good to get an extra day. I think I also happened to get off early on Friday. So, I don't know about you, but I was napping.
Yeah, that's mostly what I did. In fact, after this, I'm probably going to nap as well.
Good. Well, we had an eventful night last night. So, David, when he was working in the yard yesterday, apparently hit himself in the head with a shovel.
Oh, shit.
He's fine.
Oh, God.
But we did go to urgent care to get him checked out, make sure he didn't have a concussion or anything. But, yeah, that was a little scary for a second there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's good. Urgent care was terrible. Literally, I hate the medical industry in this country, and they did not help that at all. The doctor literally did not even, he didn't even say, like, hey, I'm the doctor. He just walked in and started talking. And we were like, I guess you're the doctor. And then he walked out before he was done talking. He was literally like opened the door as David was asking a question, and he just like was like slowly like closing it as he's like talking, and then he was like, okay, that's all, bye. And then he closed it. We were like, okay, cool, guess you're good. So yeah, not great, but everybody's fine. So I guess it's okay.
Yeah. Wow.
And then woke up this morning and watched this horrific episode.
Oh, God, yeah.
What an episode.
I meant to warn you about some of it, but there was, like, no way to really do it without spoiling.
It was like every part of it was just graphic and violent, and it's okay. There was no way for you to truly warn me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And yeah, no, I only watched it last night. In fact, I brought it outside. I brought my laptop outside, and I watched it on the porch.
Nice. Aw. That's cute. Shall we get into it?
Yeah. So this episode was written by
DJ Doyle!
And directed by Eric Laneuville.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Eric. Nice to meet you. Well, we've met you before, I'm pretty sure.
I just always feel bad when we give DJ Doyle his, like, huge intro. And then, there's just the other person. Anyway.
I just imagined in my head and directed by Eric Laneuville.
You should cut everything else out and then put that. All right. Are we ready?
I can't wait to edit that part.
Let's do this.
All right.
So, no new characters, obviously. It's too far for that, okay?
Yeah. This is, I'm pretty sure, the mid-season finale.
And you know what? It sure fucking felt like it. So, the Zephyr makes it to the lighthouse dock, and Cassius and his squad find Sonara's body. Obviously, they all suck, but, like, that is such a horrific way to find someone.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, your closest confidant. I would say best friend, but Cassius doesn't have friends.
Yeah.
So, I feel for them on that.
Yeah. I can agree with that. They could have taken her down.
Yeah.
But
you know, they had to scare them, I guess. They also had other things going on. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the SHIELD team is making their way onto the lighthouse while the Kree are searching the plane. One creeper scans the lab, deems it clear of any life forms, and then walks out, and then Enoch unfolds himself from a corner. That was so fucking gross. The way he just, like, unfurled from the wall. Disgusting. But anyway, so Enoch calls Coulson to confirm the plan, while they are looking for Flint to rebuild the monolith. Enoch is supposed to get the machine up and running right under Cassius's nose. Mac, Yo-Yo, and Flint are ready to go meet Coulson, but Tess doesn't want to leave just yet. She heard someone else being brought back to life just like her, and so she wants to make sure that they're saved too. It obviously must be whoever Cassius' seer is. I feel so many things. So Yo-Yo offers to go and find this person and save them for Tess. Deke is impatient because... Sorry, I just saw that you corrected me later. Deke is impatient because Coulson's plan doesn't seem to have a kill Cassius item on it. But Coulson assures him that they will not leave until humanity is in control of its future. And Deke doesn't seem exactly comforted by this.
He had a line when Fitzsimmons were talking, and he was like, I hear you saying words, but I don't understand them.
Yeah. Yes. He had a lot of good lines that I just didn't write down because there was so much else happening.
Yeah.
His comic relief in this episode was not relieving. I was like, this is not the time.
Deke, will you shut up?
So Cassius has Sonara's body on a table back on the lighthouse. And he orders his Kree doctor, I guess, to bring her back to life like they do with the Inhumans. But the doctor said that this isn't possible with Kree bodies, and that Cassius knows this. So Cassius just shoots him in the head. Oh my god.
Yeah, just take away your ability to...
Yeah, so now nobody can do it.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Great. Amazing. And oh my god, just the blue blood on the wall was so jarring and really just set us on this track for this episode of it, let you know the tone right away.
Yeah.
And it was a lot. So, Cassius is really losing it right now. One of his soldiers brings in what they found in the Zephyr, which was not much, apparently. It was mostly Robin's drawings, including one of the monolith. So then Cassius realizes that S.H.I.E.L.D. plans to go back to their time before the Earth broke apart, back when it was still beautiful. And so he decides that he's going to foil them and impress his father in one fell swoop. and just kill S.H.I.E.L.D. now so that the Earth will still be beautiful when his father gets to it and will face no S.H.I.E.L.D. resistance. So that's the alien invasion that started the apocalypse, obviously. Which means that the Earth was already like, they were the ones who started the apocalypse. They were the ones who started to break the world apart. But I guess they only did that because they received resistance from S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's their out, I guess.
My trapdoor is remaining intact.
Okay, thanks. Cassius orders the Inhuman trainer, who I could not remember his name. I thought it was Kai, so I said Kai this whole time. Thank you. It is Tai. So, I was close. I even got the spelling almost right. So I'll do my best to say Tai.
I think I changed it a couple times when I caught it.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Not to take liberties with your script, but
that's okay.
You know.
Anyway, so Cassius orders Tai to get the Inhumans ready, the Inhumans that they have left, to get a fighting unit to crush S.H.I.E.L.D., basically. Tai says this is not possible because they barely have any Inhumans left, and the ones that they do have are nowhere near trained. So Cassius forces some odium into Tai's mouth, which basically turns him into an angry, suicidal, painless monster. So that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Mac and Flint are on their way to meet up with S.H.I.E.L.D. and talking about what happens after they succeed. Mac tells Flint about how Earth used to be, how it was a much better place to grow up in than the lighthouse. And he says that if Flint wants to come back to their time with them, he would always have a home with Mac and Yo-Yo. Oh, my heart.
Oh, no.
Flint says they have to figure out how to make a time machine first. But Fitzsimmons have arrived and correct them that actually it's a time portal, not a time machine.
Not a machine.
Not a machine. They already have a time machine to make the time portal work, actually. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So Coulson, May, Daisy, and Deke take on the Kree squad with the Inhumans. They kill the Kree and then send the Inhumans to the trawler to be reunited with the other humans. And Deke says it's like cheating. They should give these powers to They shouldn't give these powers to anyone unless they're a really, really good person. Yeah, true.
You'd think there'd be a law.
Almost. Coulson and Daisy get stuck, though, fighting a rabid Tai, and Daisy finally stabs him in the chest. Also, still very graphic and violent. They like showed everything. I feel like I've gotten used to them kind of panning away as it happens or something, or like cutting to the reaction shot, but like they really showed it in this episode every time.
Yeah. For sure. I agree. It was a lot.
Yeah. Deke and Tess have a short reunion before Coulson tells Tess that he's been where she is now and that saving all these people is worth the cost. Tess joins the Inhumans boarding the trawler and says that she'll be back for Flint and anyone else that needs to be saved. And I'm a little bit unsettled by Tess for some reason. I was very scared that she's going to turn and like be used by Cassius and so like there's some ticking time bomb in her brain or something.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Clearly she was fine. It was interesting though that the people that they brought back were very like, they looked dead. Like the Kree didn't bring them back all the way. Like how Coulson was brought back all the way. They're still like, they're pale and like their lips are still a little bit blue and they still look sick and deathly, but so that was an interesting touch, and
I wonder if they had to have done that on purpose.
I would think so. I think that it's maybe just the Kree not really understanding or caring what makes somebody fully like human and well, you know? So they're just like, no, I just need you animated. That's all.
Need you alive. That's about it.
Yeah. But very interesting touch. Yo-Yo is still looking for the reborn Inhuman. And Cassius is still talking nonsense to Sonara's dead body. I do love that Cassius added some, like, glittery dots to his makeup, though. Like, just on one side of his face, on his little, like, left eye up on his forehead. It was nice. It was very cute. His soldier is like, sir, we need a plan. And he's like, can't you see we're discussing one? I don't know if he meant, like, because he was just talking out loud. And so, but I don't know if he meant that he was discussing it with Sonara or with the soldier.
So. I think it was with Sonara.
Okay. So he's going a little bit crazy. He kind of rediscovers the odium again and decides to use it to bring some honor back to the Cassius name. And I think we talked about this before, but his name is Cassius, right? Because, like, even his brother called him Cassius.
I feel like we had landed on his dad is also named Cassius.
Yeah.
And so, like, he's like Cassius the Second.
I think that's still so funny.
Cassius Jr.
Anyway, I was very confused about what he was going to do with the odium at that point. But he did say that he was going to visit the seer again.
Yeah, he was going to use the seer to send one last message, I think, was his line.
Yeah. Okay, so Yo-Yo follows the sounds of chains clanking, and finds the seer, and it's Elena. And our Elena's like, this is a trick. And then she's like, I thought the same thing when I was standing where you are. Which is an insane thing to say. So, obviously she is not a seer. She just has been to the future and back. So she knows how it goes. But the thing that hit me was that she was so young. So, like, she hasn't grown old. And I was thinking maybe they brought her back to life and just, like, changed her age. I don't know why that's the only thing that occurred to me.
So my assumption was in, like, the flashback scene during the Robin episode, when we see her going to confront the Kree, I feel like that's probably when she died the first time.
I think you're probably right. That makes a lot more sense than every time they bring her back to life, they de-age her. I don't know how many lifetimes I was thinking they would have given her, but Yeah, I think your assumption was much better than mine. So future Elena says that the Kree have been killing her and reviving her for years to take her DNA or interrogate her, which is just absolutely horrific. But she says that she knew eventually she would make it to this moment where she'd meet herself again. And so she says without saying that past Elena is going to lose Mac, and soon. And she also says that they're stuck in this time loop and nothing that they do can seem to change it. This conversation was so devastating.
Yeah. So according to Natalia Cordova-Buckley, in the scenes where there are two of Yo-Yo, Elizabeth Henstridge, who plays Simmons, acted as her double to help her do her scenes.
Ooh, what a fun fact. That's a good one.
I wonder if, when she was her double, if she, like, spoke in her natural English accent, or if she, like, tried to do, like, an American type accent. I don't know.
Wait. Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying that Natalia is British too, and I was like, excuse me?
No.
I don't know. That would be interesting. Where's the BTS? Come on.
Yeah. Show me the tapes.
Back on the Zephyr. Enoch's been made!
He's been made!
He tells Coulson and the team that he can hold down the fort for about 12 minutes. So Deke begrudgingly offers to go defend Enoch because the rest of them can't risk not being at the rendezvous point. He and Daisy have their last little flirty, very sexually tense banter about how they hate each other. And then he convinces them to let him go alone to help Enoch. And I was definitely not kicking my feet and giggling this whole time.
I read that out loud to Tyler, and I was like, I think that she's starting to ship Deke and Daisy.
No. What? Starting to. You know I ship Daisy with everybody.
Yeah. She does have chemistry with literally everyone.
Literally everybody falls in love with her. So.
Can't blame him.
Truly. Maybe that's her real power. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so Simmons helps Flint visualize the monolith shard at a molecular level so that he can recreate the, quote, gaps in the stone once they find more limestone. As Fitz is finishing up whatever the fuck he's doing, they hear creepers banging on the door. So Mac gets ready to fight them, but then Fitz stops him and then just presses a button on a remote as they run in, and all three of the creepers get a fucking, like, razor wire just clean through their necks. One of them was, like, straight up just through his skull and jaw. I wanted to throw up.
It was, yeah.
It was really bad. And Simmons, you know, thankfully somebody else on the screen is horrified.
Yeah.
But she is horrified that this was Fitz's plan to get them out. So she's like, I agreed to marry this person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Fitz says that it only makes sense to kill them quickly and to make the other soldiers afraid to follow them. And I can see his logic, but holy shit. that was really intense.
And I think it kind of goes to show that, like, you have to think, would pre-framework Fitz have come up with that plan?
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Like, to a certain extent, maybe that was part of him the whole time, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I don't want to say that I don't believe the show when it says that, like, there's, like, parts of their framework selves were inside of them the whole time. Yeah. But also, like, I think that the framework put that in his head.
Absolutely. Well, because I think that, at least for me, like, the biggest takeaway from the framework arc is that everybody has the potential for good or evil or whatever you want to call it inside of them, but what is brought out is based on who you're around and the events that you go through, like your experiences and the people that raise you. So the person that Fitz became in the real world based on his real world experiences, I don't think that he would have thought of that. But the person that he became in the framework based on those experiences had to do some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
So, and now he's both of these people at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you put it in words better than I did.
Simmons, basically what we're saying is that Simmons is absolutely right to be like, who the fuck are you?
This whole episode was super intense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. So the Elenas are still talking. Future Elena says that she always wanted to tell past Elena something different when the time came, but she's finding herself saying the same things that she remembers being told. She says she remembers being frustrated back then because no matter what she did, she could never seem to change what anyone else did. And especially, she could never change Coulson's choices. Oh, fuck. Daisy finally gets the elevator to open in the lighthouse. And but she doesn't follow May and Coulson onto it. She is adamant about staying here in this time so that she can't destroy the planet.
Daisy says, if I go through that portal, you know it's the beginning of the end. The series' season 1 finale was titled Beginning of the End.
Oh! I forgot. Wow. What an Easter egg. Coulson tries to convince her not to be afraid of that and to come with them, but she refuses. So Coulson says he doesn't need her to fight, he needs her to lead. And then he shoots her with an icer as future Elena reveals that Coulson is dying, and then we see the fucking hole in his chest. And future Elena says that they need to let him die. What the fuck? This is a lot of information. Future Elena tells past Elena that Coulson's death has already started. He's already sick. But their loyalty to him could cost them everything. Will cost them everything. She starts to say that past Elena can forge a new future, but she stops herself as she says it because she's heard it before and she couldn't change anything. And so past Elena isn't really sure what she's being told right now. Can she change the future, or is she being warned that she can't? But before they can talk any further, someone's coming. So Past Elena tries to get future Elena to come with her, but future Elena stands up and shows her that both of her arms have been taken from her, and she tells past Elena that she must go alone and she must go now.
So this was the only goof. And I included it because we hardly ever get goofs.
We never get goofs anymore.
Yeah. So when Yo-Yo is talking to her revived self, they should be speaking in her native Spanish.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like, I'll give them that.
But what if... You ready? What if, when they revived her, they changed her brain so that she couldn't communicate with anybody other than the Kree? You know?
Well, she'd be speaking the Cree language then.
But they also didn't want her to understand them. And also, everybody on the lighthouse was speaking English.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's right. It's a goof. Anyway, and then we get a montage. Flint floating in space. Flint floating in space, putting together a new monolith, hopefully. Which he kind of was, but not really at this point yet. Enoch gets ambushed by the Kree on the Zephyr. Poor Enoch. And then Cassius and his posse walk into future Elena's room. Mac, Simmons, and Fitz grab the last of Cassius's human slaves, and which is just one. I don't know why I worded it like that. They keep her from entering the room with the last few Kree soldiers who are getting hyped up to find and kill the SHIELD team. And it turns out Flint was actually bringing the space rocks to this very window so that he could smash it in and trade the creepers for his limestone. Enoch says, as the Kree is like coming after him, he says, "My last experience will be a new one." That broke my heart. But luckily, Deke arrives just in time to kill the creeper before he can kill Enoch. But not before Enoch receives a blow to the chest. Enoch says that they shouldn't waste time on healing him, though, because they need to fix the machine that the fight just broke. Which, obviously, the fucking machine broke.
Always something.
There's always something. Fitz and Mac watch Flint working on the monolith and comment on how great he is. Which they should. He's great. Fitz says that he's sorry that he took out the Kree so brutally in front of Flint. And Mac agrees that there's a lot of death in this place, and so it's nice to see Flint finally getting to build something for once.
Yeah.
I am glad that Fitz recognized that was a very violent thing. And that he at least regrets doing it in front of a child.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that goes to show that like that duality of him being both versions of himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's all I can say.
That's okay.
That's all I can ever say. I'm like, yeah.
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 Totally. I agree.
Simmons takes the device out of the servant's ear so that she can hear again. And what a moment when she's like, "I can hear you. I can hear my voice." So good. Obviously, neither of us have ever been actually deaf, but having just resolved some ongoing ear issues myself, it is very isolating to not be able to hear and even just hear properly. And so I actually can relate to this to a certain degree. Like the relief and like just I can hear myself. I can hear my voice. I can hear my own footsteps. It's it is a very weird feeling.
Yeah.
Just then, Coulson and May come in carrying an unconscious Daisy. Coulson explains that she's fine, she just didn't want to come, and he's not leaving anyone behind. Which I love. She's passed out in his arms, and he's like, it's fine, she just didn't want to come. It's like, what's that song that's like, sorry I was late, I didn't want to come?
I've definitely seen that as like a meme before.
I heard it. It is a song, for sure. I'll find it eventually. Where was I? Okay. Mac asks where Yo-Yo is. Coulson's like, she's not with you? And Mac's like, I thought she was with you. So Mac goes out to find her. May goes over to Flint as he's working and tells him that he's going to get them home. And his sweet little smile is so cute when he's like, yes, I am. And then May just like stares at him for a second, and then she goes, what are you waiting for? You interrupted him! What do you mean?
I guess the lighthouse hardens you, because like I would have turned around and been like, what the fuck, lady?
Yeah, really.
Like softly to myself so that she doesn't beat my ass.
Excuse
but like
me? I was working on it. I thought you were gonna say something else, bitch. I was trying to be polite. Anyway, so Mac hears Elena struggling. Mac hears Elena struggling and finds her with Cassius in the arena. Cassius is holding future Elena with a knife to her throat. They were waiting for him. Mac doesn't realize that this isn't his Elena, obviously, but he sees that her arms are missing, which, oh my god. I can't, the, like, horror of that, of, like, what the fuck did they do to you?
Yeah, and you've got to think, he just saw her.
Yeah.
And she had both of her arms. And now they look completely healed.
Right. So, literally, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Future Elena tries to tell him to run, but he says that he's not going to leave her. So, Cassius takes the rest of his odium and then slits her throat. And I cannot believe how slowly they showed that. I really, like, I needed to take a long pause after that one. Like, it's not even our Elena, and I'm like, I was sobbing at this scene.
It was genuinely so upsetting.
Truly. So Max screams, obviously, and Cassius jumps down, and they start to fight. Max shoots the two soldiers behind him before they can go and fulfill Cassius's order to, like, burn everybody. And then he and Cassius face each other. And Cassius is saying, like, really insane things. Like, I'm going to beat you with your own skull. This episode is truly horrific.
DJ,
what the fuck, dude? Are you okay? Anyway, so Cassius is saying all these horrible things, and Mac just says Elena didn't deserve to die. Ooh. That was a really really big scene. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then speaking of the comic relief that was not relieving, we go back to Deke and Enoch, and Deke is yelling at the machine for shocking him. It felt a little too soon to have, like, a comedic scene. To have, like, I'm trying to help you, machine. It gave me a little bit of whiplash. But don't worry, because they make this heartbreaking too. Enoch says the machine is too damaged to be able to take the power of the monolith, but Enoch's battery could do it. It would cause an explosion big enough to decimate several stories of the lighthouse, and it would completely atomize the person next to him flipping the switch, but it would work. And so Deke is realizing he's the guy next to him that's gonna flip the switch. So just then, Coulson comes over and says that the monolith is ready. And instead of telling them everything and the fucking sacrifice that he's about to make for them, Deke just says that they found a fix for the machine, but they'll only get one shot, so everybody has to be at the rendezvous point when it's time. The way that he just was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna die right now. Is Deke, I hate that you piss me off so much. Coulson tells Deke that his parents would be very proud of him, which I'm glad that somebody told him that. And Deke just says to himself that he will find out soon enough.
What kind of afterlife could you possibly believe in a world like that?
I know. Well, I mean, that's the thing about, like, religion and afterlives, is that people believe in that. It's such a, when you need comfort, that's the thing that comforts you if the world does not offer you comfort, right?
Yeah.
Is like, well, maybe my existence here is awful and terrible and horrific, but there's got to be something better afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Coulson tells the rest of the team that the machine is going to explode, so anyone not going to the past needs to get off this floor and as far away as possible. Flint was hoping to say goodbye to Mac and Yo-Yo first, but he ultimately decides to help the servant girl find the way to the rest of humanity. And then everyone else just hopes that Mac and Yo-Yo will make it back in time. So much for no one getting left behind, Coulson.
I know, right?
Mac is decidedly losing the fight with Cassius, and I cried so much in this episode, I was sobbing. Mac is literally, he was who was gonna die in the last season. What the fuck? But before Cassius can land his last blow, Simmons appears and puts Cassius' own deafening device in his ear. So he reels around to turn on her, but this gives Mac the opportunity to put his shotgun axe straight through Cassius' chest. Again, it's so gory. Holy shit.
Yeah, just because it's blue doesn't mean it's not blood.
Right. And there's like, oh my god, I can't. There's like, it's blood and gore. Just because it's blue doesn't mean I can't see it and know what it is. Oh my god. Max starts to tell Simmons that he watched Elena die, but then Elena appears and she tells him that she's so sorry that he saw that, but it wasn't her. And he's still very confused as she tells him that they need to go because it's time to go home. Ooh, that would be so confusing. See, I would have no idea who to trust, you know?
Yeah.
To be like, no, I watched it with my own eyes, and now this person is just in front of me. I don't know. Would not. I don't think that I would trust it.
Yeah.
So Enoch is dying. He is like on the brink. So the machine is starting to power up. Fitz tells them that it's too early, and he tries to speak to Enoch directly, asking him to hold out just a little bit longer. Mac, Yo-Yo, and Simmons are straight up sprinting back to the rock, and Deke says, I always knew working with you guys was going to blow up in my face, but it's about to get literal. Deke tries to keep Enoch together, but he's losing him. So Fitz, May, and Coulson holding Daisy, are at the rock, and May tells Coulson that Daisy will never forgive him for this, but Coulson says that he just has to hope. And the other three are running through the halls, and Deke says it's happening now. I feel like Fitz should be more concerned too. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's just standing there?
That's your fiance.
What the fuck? Deke says it's happening now, and then he like steps back to just watch as the machine starts sparking. Literally just like watching his death happening in front of him. That, I don't even know. I can't even. That brings up so many feelings in itself. And then the monolith melts or whatever the fuck. And I don't know what happens. We don't know what happens.
Imagine having to wait weeks.
Oh my god. I'm so glad that I only have to wait 2 weeks. Jesus Christ. This was so intense. Okay, you ready?
Oh my god.
And now it's time for the post-content content! Flint and Tess are in the trawler looking at the broken earth. They assume that Deke didn't make it out, which tells me that he did somehow. And they hope that the rock worked. They're grateful for the second chance that S.H.I.E.L.D. gave them. And Flint says there's a lot that needs fixing. And Tess hands him Virgil's little globe and says, here's your blueprint. Flint is going to put the planet back together. Wow.
I know, wow.
I love this little ending. It's so, like, calm and hopeful. And we really needed that after this episode. Oh.
Right. Overall thoughts?
Oh, just so violent. And I cried and sobbed so much. And I think that Deke survived. I think he got sent back to the past with them somehow. There was the little piece of the monolith in the machine, so maybe it took him too or something. I don't know.
My trapdoor.
I have hope. He and Daisy had too much chemistry. They can't kill him off yet. What about you? Any final stuff?
Yeah, I've got one final fun fact. So this is the final appearance of Eve Harlow as Tess, Dominic Raines as Cassius, and Florence Favre as Sinara.
All right. Good job, guys.
Yay!
But not Flint. And not Deke. And also not our other 3 S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. So, and Enoch either. What the fuck? Okay, let's just get on with it.
Okay. That concludes our episode on Season 5, Episode 10, Past Life.
Woohoo!
Next time we'll be covering Season 5, Episode 11, All the Comforts of Home, so stay tuned for that.
Thank God. Okay, bye.
Bye, love you.